You're watching The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Welcome to the predicted starting 11 for Monday afternoon's game as we travel up to Everton to Goodison Park. Game we haven't won at Goodison in a long time. The Ronald Koeman rivalry continues. So let me get straight into the team. So let's start in between the sticks then. It's an easy one to select. Perhaps one of the first names on the team sheet because we haven't got any other options. Again, perhaps at fault for a goal or two in the last two games. Fraser Forster, you're in between the nets, but we need to see an improved performance from you, mate. It's been very frustrating watching you recently, not coming off your line. Perhaps the decision making has been up to scratch, but look, we haven't got really many other options to go in between the nets. Into the defence then, starting at right back, I'm going to start with Cedric Soares. I called him to start against West Brom on Saturday, but we saw a lot of rotation in the back four, and three of the four, perhaps the chemistry wasn't there for the West Brom game. That's why we probably lost 2-1. So starting up at right back, Cedric Soares for me starts this game over Martina. He was either rested or he's picked up a little injury. This has been recorded before the press conference, so I'm not sure what's going on in terms of Cedric's availability, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say Cedric to play on Monday. And alongside Cedric then to return to the squad as our leader, as our captain, the club legend Jose Fonte to lead the team out against Everton. Perhaps a point to prove for him as well against his old manager. And alongside him then in the centre defence, obviously Van Dijk is now suspended for this game with the second yellow card against West Brom. Huge loss for us in a tough game at Goodison. So there's only really one option for me, and it's got to be Mayo Yoshida, his second game in 2 or 3 days. So it's going to be tough for him to adapt to the challenge at Goodison Park, but there's nobody else. I mean, other than that, there is Jack Stevens, but I'm not sure he's ready to go straight in at the deep end against a tough Premier League opposition. To finish off the back four then, we saw Sam McQueen start against West Brom, which I predicted in my other prediction video, but I think we're going to see a return of our strongest left back and one of the best left backs in England, Ryan Bertrand. Into midfield then, let's start with the midfield three. The first central midfielder, James Ward-Prowse. He's come off the bench against West Brom, and I think he's due for a start against Everton on Monday afternoon. We're going to need his attacking presence on these set pieces, his wonderful deliveries, and I think that's probably what's going to help us break down Everton, score from set pieces on Monday afternoon. As always, I think it's going to be Oriol Romeu to hold up the play, to break up the play also in the central midfield, to release the ball quickly as possible. Perhaps has been sluggish and a bit sloppy recently, but I think, again, there's not really many other choices, and I think perhaps where we're lacking that depth in terms of sort of holding midfielders. Obviously, Classy is injured, and for me, I think Reed is ready to step up for the game against Everton. Finish off the midfield three then, as I said, Classy is injured. If he weren't injured, he would have been straight into this game to play against his old manager and his Dutch compatriot Ronald Koeman. So for me, for this one, I'm going to put in Stephen Davis. Has been, pretty good for the last couple of games. Outstanding against Bournemouth, coming off the bench to make a match-winning influence. Let's be honest. Didn't have much of an influence in the Spurs game or the West Brom game. Let's be honest. It's been tough two fixtures at home, but I think Davis has got what it takes to carry the midfield to and from box to box, and Davis can be the one to play the balls through to the forward line. So into the forward line then, and this is an easy first selection for me. It's his last game before we lose him to the African Cup. For me, again, another massive loss for the squad because he's really just started to find his feet in the Premier League, taking on plays, lots of tricks in his back pocket, turning players inside out. So Sofiane Boufal to play his last game before the African Cup of Nations against Everton. Into the centre forward position then, again, it's only one of two choices on this one. Obviously, Austin is out for 3 months, and personally, I think we need to buy in January for a striker at the very least on loan from somewhere to help us score more goals. Okay, this player has scored his first goal this season against West Brom, against his old club, so Shane Long for me. I'm going to put him in the squad to play against Everton to offer a high energy against a tough Everton team. We saw Rodriguez come off the bench against West Brom and, score 2 goals against Bournemouth 2 games ago. But let's go with Long to start against Everton. And to finish off the 11 then to play at Goodison Park, a player that had a fantastic game against the Toffees in the home fixture. And I'm going to stick my neck out and say he's going to play against Everton to start at Goodison. Josh Sims really lit up the show and set up the first goal for Charlie Austin in the earlier fixture this season, and I think Josh Sims is a raw talent that can really push forward the forward line and offer a lot of high energy. He came off the bench against West Brom on Saturday afternoon and looks, full of beans. So hopefully Sims has got what it takes to push forward and offer a bit of tenacity and a bit of drive going forward into an Everton defence that looks a bit shaky at the moment. So hopefully Sims to push forward and offer an assist or two at Goodison Park. So that's my predicted starting 11 to play Everton on Monday afternoon at Goodison Park. We haven't won there in a long time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which players you would like to see. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of rotation as we've expected in the last few months and the last few weeks. It's been hard to predict his selection. Honestly, I don't think he knows his first 11 in his strongest squad. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and your score predictions. And as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.